Today we get to say something we've wanted to say for a long time. Tomorrow we're going to Mexico.
Hey!
But this being our very last day in South America, we thought we'd do a bit of a best and worst thing before we left.
I loved the food and the wine. Oh my gosh, like in Argentina, the meat was, or the red meat was absolutely sensational. We couldn't get enough of it. And the red wine, like the malbec, was so good. Here in Chile, same deal, like the carmenere, which is a red wine, of which Chile produces 95% of the world's like carmenere. It's incredible. And pastel de choclo, like the best dish ever. This corn pie, sort of like a shepherd's pie, but instead of potato, there's creamed corn, and then there's like a gravy of beef and chicken and olives, and it's just amazing, 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 amazing. So yeah, the food and wine for me.
Nice. My turn?
Yes.
I'm going to choose a place for my first one. So we've visited extensively Argentina, Chile, and a little bit of Uruguay. Favorite place by a long shot for me was the Atacama Desert in the north of Chile. Atacama was mental, mind-blowingly different to anywhere we've ever been. I'd go back in a heartbeat. It's incredible. If you ever get the chance, go to Atacama. I'll link some vlogs up here. That's my first one.
My second one would have to be Patagonia in Argentina, if I had to choose, like between Chile and Argentina. Argentinian Patagonia was just phenomenal. It was vast, it was untouched, it was just staggering in its beauty. If you ever get a chance to go to Perito Moreno glacier, it is just blow your mind. I loved it.
We'll link some videos to that as well, or just check the playlist. There's some amazing videos. Okay?
Yeah.
I absolutely loved the people everywhere, particularly Chile and Uruguay, I must say, but across all three countries the people have been amazing. Our Spanish is absolutely shocking. We're learning as much as we possibly can on the go, but it's terrible. So we struggle to get around because we can't order food and stuff, but no one has been a douche to us. Everyone is so helpful and friendly. They understand that we're struggling. They seem to understand that we're trying our very best. But, and not just people when we're struggling, just generally people asking if we're okay, like need help. It's been so nice to travel here.
Yeah.
They are all absolutely stunning.
My final best thing would have to be the diversity in landscapes. So the cities were amazing. Santiago, Buenos Aires, Montevideo, they were all vibrant. The architecture was fantastic. They were just great to walk around. But then when you move to the countryside, like Patagonia, the desert, it was just equally spectacular. And it was awesome that we got to tick off all the boxes.
Nice. I loved the barbecue in all the countries. So when you come here, so we've been to 3 countries and everyone just fights about who does the better barbecue. At the end of the day, they all do great barbecue. So just take it as a grain of salt. It seems that these countries fight over anything. Whatever they do the best. So they all think the barbecue's the best. It's great everywhere. But if you get a chance to do barbecue with locals like we did in Uruguay, our great friends Grange and Lucy. Lucy's dad lives in Uruguay, in Montevideo, and she hooked us up with him. They're awesome, by the way. I'm going to put their Instagram handles below. Check them out. They're really into the arts. Super cool accounts. But anyway, they hooked us up with their dad, and he took us around to their house, and we did asado, barbecue.
We went to the butcher.
The butcher, like we did the entire thing. So that was such a highlight for me, hanging out with a family and eating barbecue. But I guess the gist of that is have barbecue when you're in South America, or asado.
And hang out with locals
yeah,
if you can.
if you get a chance to hang out with locals, do it with the locals. Now, on to the worst things. We don't like to dwell on the worst things because really, there's always bad stuff, but the best stuff's always better, so go with the good stuff. But we thought for the sake of this video, and to help you guys know, like, what are some of the not so cool things in this part of the world, we'd cover it. So our worst things. Now, we came out with 3 best things each, like we struggled to narrow it down to 3. The worst things we could only come up with 2 each, because don't dwell on it.
Yeah,
but
don't be a dippy downer.
these things were definitely what we'd consider the worst.
Me first?
You first.
I was probably very naive in thinking that South America would be cheap, because it's not. And I think the biggest thing for me was that it cost so much to get anywhere. Like whether it was by bus or by plane, like it was just really, really expensive. So for us to fly from Buenos Aires down to Patagonia in Argentina, so the same country, it cost us like 800 US, 900 US return. Like it was a phenomenal amount of money. So I suppose that was one of the down points, like the fact that it cost so much to travel anywhere, and we could have done a lot more if it had been a lot cheaper, obviously. So
Me?
yes.
One of my massive things I really disliked about being here, massively, and this happened pretty much every day, being told you're gonna get robbed. It never stopped. It's so frustrating to hear constantly. Every time you put a bag on, every time you go to leave a house or a hostel or a hotel, be careful with your stuff. Because, and this also goes back to one of my favorite things, the people, like they're so nice and kind. And I think a lot of it was people just being really kind.
Yeah.
But when that's being told to you 2 times a day often, by different people in shops, strangers, like complete strangers would come up and tell you that, and it starts to grind on you that you naturally are then scared all the time that you're going to just get bundled up and robbed in the street.
Especially because we have the camera out.
Yeah, and cameras out. It just wasn't so nice. So I didn't love being told all the time that I was going to get robbed. And Sheena, what's your final worst?
It would probably have to be Valparaiso. Like, I was really looking forward to visiting the city. I'd heard about it being a UNESCO heritage site.
So it's a coastal town,
Yeah.
couple hours from Santiago. Big tourist attraction.
And it sounded really quaint and cute. But when we got there, it was just like really grungy, but in a really gross way.
Yeah.
Like there was just dog poo, like everywhere, like literally everywhere. There was just rubbish everywhere. There was great street art, except that it had been completely overrun by just crappy tags and graffiti. Like it was sort of just gross, and I was just disappointed by it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you can't love everywhere you go. So I was sort of glad in a way, because I actually have genuinely had a really good time everywhere, but except for Valparaiso.
My second worst thing was this antiquated system of doing things. So it was so frustrating sometimes, like coming from a world where things just get done and happen quite quickly. Here some things happen so slow. Like a good example is the bakery. So say you want to buy, say, 2 rolls and an alfajor because you want some rolls for your lunch and a biscuit to finish.
Or just a biscuit.
Or just a biscuit. Let's say just a biscuit, so just an alfajor. You'd go into the bakery, you'd see what you'd wanted, you'd order it from person 1. They'd give you a ticket, which meant you then had to go and line up in a second queue. You'd have to wait for another few minutes to pay for your biscuit. Then you got another ticket. You had to go back to the first person or maybe someone else, line up again because now you're in the queue for people that had paid, and line up for the 3rd time that day or that instant for a flippin' biscuit. So you'd have to line up 3 times to choose, pay, and then actually get And this was the thing with like fruit, biscuits, like it happened a lot.
Everywhere.
And it was super frustrating. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't want to sound like an idiot and just a douche for like getting upset at that, but it's not that I was upset at it. It was just really frustrating. Like, this could have been a 30-second in and out, yet I've now been here for 4 minutes. And I'm like, this is just unnecessary. But really, at the end of the day, there weren't many worse things in South America.
Not at all.
It was bloody amazing.
We loved it.
Loved it. But we are so damn excited to get on that plane and head to Mexico tomorrow.
Like, so I am just freaking out with excitement, right? Like, I just can't
Mexico
stop talking
is
about
like bucket list country. Sheena will not shut up. In such a cool way. Like, she is so ridiculously over the moon about getting there and eating and exploring and seeing a new place. So don't forget to subscribe, because it really helps us. Like, every time someone hits subscribe down there, it's so hard to understand. Somewhere down there, one of those things. There, we'll go there. Hit subscribe, it helps us so much. We love seeing that number tick up.
Yes.
And it means that we can keep traveling and we can keep making content for you guys to enjoy, because we love doing what we're doing and we love the support. Here's to Mexico and South America.
Woo!